About 10 years ago, there was a sitcom show called Friends of the Boat, and everybody in this day and age seemed to have forgotten about. That is the show we will be talking about today, and we will dig out some reasons why you actually should remember sharing this show about the time of his family moving from Washington, D.C. to Orlando. The first reason is the relentlessly good cast. You have this genius brother Evan, that is the smartest of all kids, even skipping grades because he is so good. You have Eddie as this a bit misunderstood kid that is into rap and almost nobody understands him, apart from the neighborhood kid, Nicole. That actor that plays him is also very well cast in a role. You have a third brother Emery, a kid with a good heart that also is a very smart kid and has a lot of luck with both girls and friends. Then we have Jessica Wong, the backbone of the cast, which is this Rick Mata that only wants the best for her kids. We had his cool father type Lewis, the manager of the restaurant in the story called Cattleman's Ranch, which is a character always prone to advise and riders as he tries to be more of the loose cool dad with few restrictions for the kids. Then we had the hilarious Marvin, which is his former war veteran, which is in the relation with his young wife called Honey. Honey is actually Jessica's first friend and a friend she takes on despite her not being accepted by a lot of suburban women in the neighborhood. We, of course, also need to take a more individual description when it comes to Jessica and Luce, played by Constance Wu and Randall Park respectively, because both performances are very good. As with Constance Wu, the way she acts, she makes the strict mother into a very believable figure that you actually could have sworn was a real character. That raises also a lot of comic moments, as she always is so concerned with money, and if something can't be made money of, it is just not worth it, like when she is concerned with Emery trying acting, or her sister going to art school, as with Randall Park, that you might also have seen in other comedy movies, such as The Night Before. It plays every bit of this dad trying to be more cool, but at the same time taking a bit of wild advice from others like Marvin, which often end up in comic situations. There's also always very much stereotype concerned with this Asian family, that a lot of what they do are not good enough, especially Jessica, who are tough on Eddie, or when she tries to get Evan to break up with his girlfriend because she thinks he is too young to be in those sorts of relations. Also, of course, that most of these Asian kids study very hard is also a known stereotype, or that episode where Eddie has to deal with the Asian rather thing, or for instance, when Eddie is sort of forced to be friends with whom he thinks is his Chinese kid, but is really a boy from Israel, that Eddie is given the job to make him feel more welcome, which is really more of a race thing, but still funny. Only little thing I may have against this show, despite all the positives, is of course that they use much of the same effects. For example, they use the same songs when they solve a problem within the family after a quarrel, or when Eddie finds out an idea, it is always, yeah. There could have been some variation in there, but of course it is also effective delivery that works and makes sense. In a show there can of course be some episode variation, but it is still better than most sitcoms out there today like Bookie that just focus on one conclusion. There are a lot of funny moments in many of the episodes. Chinese polite fights when Luz tells a story about his two-man show, the episode where Luz is dressed as a frog to try to help Evan with romance. Sure, it may be awkward at times, but it is delivered in a funny way that makes you enjoy the show. The next feature I will be talking about may be good and bad, but generally there's a lot of exaggeration. Of course, I do not know how it was in the 90s in Orlando, but that they met some race discrimination may have been true. But that Jessica dislikes all white people, to her they are just the same, is of course a bit of a joke, but that is also a heavy exaggeration. Same way is all this anger about other people's choices. To me it feels a bit over the top. But of course, in a lot of Asian families, they are not content with you being anything else than a doctor or a lawyer. Of course, also all these manipulation tricks that occur in the show may not make it as realistic either, but they sure are funny at times, and especially the Jessica character does that a lot. In summary, the show will get a 7 out of 10, and I hands down enjoy this sitcom, which is a lot more unfiltered than what you see out there today.